Sunlight bounces off towering skyscrapers as the Awakened Association stakes its claim on the city. The Jinhyuk with phone studies the mobile Awakened certificate, noting its surprisingly ordinary appearance while a voice calls out, "Jinhyuk Appa." Jinhyuk turns sharply toward the voice, his expression shifting as recognition and surprise flash across his face. The woman gestures as she explains the people claiming to know him, while he descends the stairs, processing the unexpected news. Jinhyuk smiles slightly and declares, "I'll introduce them to you." Alice crosses her arms and glares, revealing she's a Northern European player and a progenitor stirring inevitable chaos. The man in sunglasses introduces Kim Hee-wong as the new manager of the Black Crow Guild, promising to handle dungeon scouting and support allies of Representative Khan. Tears stream down as the man finally feels recognized, calling this moment a reward compared to working under Shin Jiansu's harsh rule. Jinhyuk declares he's the true master behind the Black Crow Guild, not the figurehead everyone thinks, daring others to ask him for favors whenever they need. They smile brightly, promising to get along even better from now on. They clasp hands firmly, sealing their newfound bond with unshakable determination. Jinhyuk lashes out in anger, shouting that it's their fault for pushing him too far, though he claims he never meant to go that far. Jinhyuk snaps back, accusing his opponent of failing to endure provocations despite living for thousands of years, only to be met with a cold denial that no one has ever provoked him like that before. Jinhyuk snaps back, accusing his opponent of failing to endure provocations despite living for thousands of years, only to be met with a cold denial that no one has ever provoked him like that before. Jinhyuk dashes into the forest, senses sharp and ready for any threat lurking in the shadows. Jinhyuk dashes into the forest, senses sharp and ready for any threat lurking in the shadows. Golden padlock, sealing the dungeon as the guilds keep the elite floors locked behind the third-floor boss's defeat. A crooked tower leans defiantly among the city's skyline, hiding a secret no one expects. Jinhyuk smirks confidently, eyes locked on the crooked tower, declaring, "Of course, excluding me." They step cautiously past shattered pillars beneath the cold glow of the moon, the once celebrated moon lake, now abandoned and silent. He walks the rocky path beneath the purple sky, recalling a time long past while humanity races toward extinction. Jinhyuk places a hand on his chest and steps into the lake, promising a hunt unlike any other. He strides through the water, passing 12 animal statues that guard the tranquil moonlit lake. He fixes his gaze on the distant statue, realizing it holds a secret purpose beyond guarding the lake. Jinhyuk inspects the fish-shaped statue, questioning if a secret button hides within, but doubts it's that obvious since no one's found it yet. Players debate the groove on the carp statue at Moon Lake, but no one has found the key to unlock its secret. Jinhyuk holds the cold metal object under the full moon and realizes the key isn't just a piece of metal, it's moonlight itself. He presses against the device, adjusting the moonlight's flow and with precise control over the groove's entry. The sequence stone glows intensely as the hand presses firmly, aligning the groove's pattern perfectly with the engraved code. Jinhyuk pries open the glowing crystal object with painstaking precision, revealing a mysterious light that pulses from within. The heavy door creaks open, revealing a dark stairway plunging underground as they step forward without hesitation. Jinzu descends the stairs while the other marvels aloud at the hidden space deep within the Tower of Trials. She their hand against the glowing wall, breathing in the long-lost feeling of freedom that floods their senses. Jinhyuk challenges with a sharp question, pushing for a reaction on their contract, expecting satisfaction, demanding truth. Jinzu admits the claim isn't entirely baseless, conceding it's somewhat believable despite the doubt. Jinhyuk manifests divine power with a surge of glowing blue energy, absorbing the frozen tear to trigger the second defrosting and boost his mana by 18. Jinhyuk exhales with relief, realizing it's become much easier to retain Alice, while the Jinzu hovers nearby, silently questioning. Jinhyuk summons fire in his hand, the small winged figure hovering close as they discuss the beings in the tower, and the game turned reality. Jinzu leans forward, eyes sharp as she demands, "What are you doing all of a sudden?" Jinhyuk cuts through the tension, locking eyes as he demands, "Alice, I want to ask you something." Jinhyuk's words glitch violently, his form distorting as incomprehensible symbols spill from his mouth. Jinhyuk processes her frantic shout, realizing vital information about the tower is being completely blocked. He strides deeper into the cave, clutching a light as he admits he can't share what he's learned with the tower's inhabitants. Alice spins sharply, warning kick as heavy footsteps echo through the cave. Jinhyuk slams his claw weapon into the ground as flames ignite in his palm, declaring the tower's first floor a deadly spawning ground. Jinhyuk summons a swirling blaze in his palm, flames twisting wildly as he prepares to incinerate anything that dares approach. Flames erupt in a violent explosion, the dark armored figure standing firm as the firestorm rages around him. Flames consume the figure, spreading wildly as the inferno threatens to swallow everything in its path. The clawed creature lunges through the flames, but the man just smirks, unshaken and ready to strike back. Monsters crawl endlessly from the abyss, surrounding the man as the fire blazes fiercely between them. A giant beetle scarab bursts into view, making Alice recoil in disgust and shout, "Ugh, disgusting." Jinhyuk steps forward, sword glowing as he orders Alice to retreat while the giant beetles close in without hesitation. Jinhyuk raises his hand, unleashing the blessing of the star as radiant light envelopes him, turning the tide against the encroaching beetles. The figure stands firm as a blinding beam of energy crashes down from above, threatening to obliterate everything in its path. Spiky-haired fighter slams into his opponent with a burst of raw power, shattering the monster's defenses by 30% in a brutal clash. Jinhyuk orders Alice to unleash her power as she erupts in fury, spreading bat-like wings as she prepares to confront the disgusting insects. A man smirks, pointing his finger with a glowing ring as Alice gasps in shock, caught off guard by his bold challenge. Alice leaps forward, unleashing her Bloodbind ability as crimson energy erupts beneath her feet, turning the arena into a deadly trap. Alice charges through the blood-red energy, her strike shattering the ground and sending shockwaves toward her enemies. Jinhyuk tightens his grip on the glowing sword, smirking as he prepares to unleash the rift stat that slashes through level gaps like a blade through paper. Red energy orbs swarm as Jinhyuk dodges with precision, his power surging with every level-up notification flashing around him. Jinhyuk grips the glowing purple cleaver, breaking free from his self-imposed limits as he admits his stress from holding back finally snapped. Jinhyuk unleashes his unique ability, shadows swirling as he commands, "So I'll be counting on you guys." Jinhyuk charges forward, energy crackling around him as he roars, "Don't stop coming at me." Jinhyuk slams into the enemy, unleashing a brutal burst of energy that shatters the ground beneath them. Patrick stands firm and declares the 8th raid to the 4th floor has failed, signaling the tense meeting's grim start. The speaker reveals only 9 out of 100 soldiers from 15 attack forces have returned, shattering any hope of success. The figure cloaked in orange summons a blazing red aura as countless armored statues stand motionless, ready to unleash devastation. T-Win slams his fist down, frustration boiling over as he demands a strategy to break through the overwhelming force despite the divine artifact's power. Maria points out the problem. The 2nd and 3rd floor raids went too fast, leaving players with no time to level up. Teresa nods, realizing the rush cost them crucial growth. Jinho voices frustration over the lack of players above level 15 and blames guilds like Junghwa for the guild's current crisis. Jinho crosses his arms, refusing to overlook the harsh truth, while Jinhyuk challenges him. demanding if he said anything wrong. Jin-hyuk shouts accusations, refusing to accept baseless humiliation, while Jin-ho raises his hand in frustration, defending their climb up the tower for humanity. Patrick slams his hand down, demanding silence and order as tensions threaten to tear the group apart. Patrick's glare cuts through the chaos as he orders everyone to focus, refusing to let the mission crumble. Jin-ho crosses his arms, locking eyes with Maria as he demands, "Have you thought of something?" Patrick grips his head in distress as the old man looms behind, revealing they received word from the demonic humans just before daybreak. Jin-ho, Maria, and Jin-hyuk exchange shocked glances as Jin-ho reveals the demonic humans' help comes with a dangerous condition they must accept. Jin-ho shouts his refusal to ally with the demonic humans, condemning them as globally wanted criminals and vulgar bastards. Maria and Teresa exchange serious words about the world's distrust of demonic humans and the overwhelming power of the large guilds over governments. Teresa clutches her necklace, warning that with growing influence, every word and action must serve a just and great cause. The chandelier's flames flicker wildly, then surge as a furious voice demands, "What do you mean we're trash?" Patrick leans forward, voice sharp as he defends the wounded pride of the so-called trash, flames roaring beside him. The old man grips his skull-topped staff, voice dripping with dark power as he taunts. "But don't you already know that you can't do anything with your strengths alone?" The old man slams his staff into the ground, unleashing a shockwave that tears through the battlefield, forcing everyone to brace for impact. Jin-ho slams his hand on the wooden table, eyes blazing as he snarls, "You demonic human trash! What do you think you are?" Jin-ho launches a fierce punch, snarling, "Since you showed yourself to me, I'll kill you." The man in the red jacket swings his glowing sword with deadly precision while hurling a massive object, declaring, "We finally agree on something, Baek Jin-ho." The old man leans forward, voice dripping with menace as he warns, "You're all quite hot-blooded. However, you might change your mind after hearing my proposal." Old man commands to join forces, promising the power to take down the third floor's boss. Jin-ho shouts in disbelief, tearing apart the claim that the demonic human association's tiny force could break through the army. Old man grips his skull-top staff and declares, "We just need to have quantity, don't we?" Old man slams his skull-topped staff down as purple energy swirls, unleashing the gravekeeper of the Black Tomb. A massive skeletal hand crashes through the floor as Patrick's eyes widen in alarm. Skeleton warriors clad in armor burst from the earth, their shields raised as they rise to join the fray. They glare at the towering building, voice dripping with disbelief as they confront the necromancer's terrifying power to command such a massive undead army. Patrick's eyes widen as he spots the skull-topped staff in the old man's grip, realization hitting hard. The old man raises the skull-topped staff, declaring it the legendary Staff of Greed, forged from 99 rare materials. T-Win wipes sweat from his brow, piecing together the deadly potential if the Staff of Greed merges with necromancer powers. T-Win declares the third boss raid isn't impossible, but Maria's shock reveals the ruthless truth. They're facing evil demonic humans. Jin-ho insists they should be tearing the old man apart right now, his frustration barely contained as the hooded figure stands firm with his skull-topped staff. Jin-ho weighs the stakes, deciding that if the price is a secret the public must never learn, then it's a risk worth taking. Teresa grips his sword and shield, firing back with a fierce question that leaves no room for doubt. Teresa tightens her grip on sword and shield, her voice sharp with disbelief as she condemns the alliance with the demonic humans. Teresa grips her sword tighter, eyes scanning the dim room as the armored woman clings to Jin-hyuk's absence, desperation thick in the air. Teresa's eyes lock on the incoming video call from Kong Jin-hyuk, hesitation flickering as she debates whether to answer. The tower announces that a single rookie cleared the first floor alone. His identity is listed as unknown. The rookie finally appears in front of the guild representatives through a screen call. The people who were searching for him realize the super rookie is right in front of them. An experienced summoner reacts calmly and says he has heard about the rookie who cleared the first floor. The summoner warns that a boss raid is completely different from a normal floor run. The rookie confidently replies that he can still handle it. The summoner reveals a large number of summoned skeleton soldiers and questions what couldn't be done with that many summons. The guild representatives agree, believing the summons are enough to challenge the boss. Someone interrupts and claims the rookie's equipment is fake. The rookie reacts with confusion as the accusation is made directly. Two materials are shown: Saint's Heart and a prison uniform soaked in holy oil. It is explained that using only these two materials cannot create the real Staff of Greed. The summoner explains that the real Staff of Greed has a red gem embedded beneath the skull. The rookie's staff is shown to be missing that red gem. The summoner then points outside toward the summoned skeleton soldiers. The quality of the skeleton soldiers is evaluated and judged to be too low. It is stated that these summons would not survive even half a day in the boss room. Hooded Man is clearly planning to abandon the group after grabbing coins and items during the chaos. Close-up of the Hooded Man's face. He's irritated and openly annoyed, calling the other side arrogant. The Hooded Man issues a warning, saying they'll regret rejecting his offer. He releases purple energy and calmly threatens that next time, when they meet in person, things won't be so easy. The Hooded Man disappears, leaving behind lingering purple energy. Two well-dressed figures arrive at the scene after he's gone. The tension is still hanging in the air. Inside a room, one of the men looks unsettled, clearly processing what just happened. The group regathers and asks what their next move should be now that the Hooded Man is gone. The unknown person promises he'll prevent them from joining the demonic humans and also handle clearing the tower for profit. The group questions him, asking if he's really planning to do everything alone. He confirms it directly, saying yes. One member thinks ahead, noting that even if the unknown fails, recruiting him afterward is still a win. Another agrees, saying this option is far better than siding with the demonic humans and has no real downside. A white-haired man smirks, clearly excited by the opportunity and not wanting to miss it. They begin discussing compensation, asking how much support and rewards the unknown wants. A red-haired woman cuts in, stating Olympus will provide full support instead. Another man objects, saying Titan should handle monetary backing since that's their specialty. The white-haired man argues back, saying money might not be what the unknown wants and offers personal support instead. The unknown person shuts it down, saying plainly that he doesn't need anything in return. Unknown asks the guilds to block off the entire area and let him enter the tower alone. In exchange, he says he won't take any rewards at all, making it clear he wants full control of the situation without outside interference. The red-haired representative questions his motives, pointing out that helping them this much without asking for anything only makes him more suspicious and demands to know his real reason. Unknown pauses and admits that there isn't a clear reason behind it, briefly reflecting on the question instead of giving a calculated answer. The blonde woman is visibly shaken by his words, surprised and emotionally affected by how straightforward and sincere he sounds. Unknown internally cringes at how dramatic his words sounded, even though he meant them honestly. The blonde woman repeats his words to herself, slowly smiling as she starts to accept his sincerity and view him more warmly. The white-haired guild leader becomes overly enthusiastic, loudly praising this as true camaraderie and clearly buying into Unknown's attitude. Unknown responds calmly, saying that as a guild representative, he doesn't have much to add, subtly deflecting the praise while staying composed. A surveillance device activates, revealing that the entire conversation has been recorded, confirming that Unknown's actions and words are now officially documented. The blonde representative smiles while watching the recording, noting that most people would have accepted the down payment without hesitation. Jinhyuk reflects that giving up rewards for allies is more valuable than short-term gains, and he's already thinking about how to use this to his advantage. He ends the video call and decides to upload edited footage, avoiding direct conflict with major guilds while still gaining benefits. His status window appears, showing his name, level 12, high magic stat, unique abilities, and multiple skills, confirming fast progression. Jinhyuk notes he reached level 12 in less than a day inside the spawning ground, and things are going smoother than expected. He's interrupted when Alice shouts at him for leaving everything to her, clearly stressed and overwhelmed. Jinhyuk bluntly tells her their relationship isn't a partnership, but a slave contract, which shocks and upsets her. He points at the system shop and mentions he was planning to buy a mana supplement for her. Alice explains a normal supplement won't work because her mana capacity is too large to be refilled that way. Jinhyuk explains that if he runs low on mana, he can't properly support her, so he intends to reclaim all the mana he spent. Alice completely misunderstands his intent, gets overly excited at the idea, and reacts in a dangerously enthusiastic way. The man feels dizzy and realizes how much blood was taken from him earlier. His mana is now fully restored, and he asks what comes next. He opens the system shop and casually says he will do some shopping. A list of items appears. He purchases multiple low-rank and strange materials without hesitation. After the purchase confirmation, Alice criticizes him for buying what looks like useless items. He replies that each item has a purpose. The man tells Alice they will be extremely busy from now on and that they must reach the end of the underground first floor today. Without waiting, he jumps straight down into the abyss. Alice panics, questioning how he can jump without knowing the depth. Mid-fall, he calmly says he knows exactly how deep it is because he has jumped down countless times before. He calls out to Alice, signaling her to act. She rushes after him in shock. A system message appears as a skill activates. Reverse gravity is triggered. Gravity flips instantly, stopping their fall. Both of them are pulled upward, landing safely as the descent turns into controlled movement forward. She calls him reckless and questions whether he's actually skilled or just surviving on luck, while he keeps moving forward without reacting. Her expression shifts as she realizes who he really is, and she quietly says his name, acknowledging his reputation. A system notification appears, activating his fire element ability and confirming he's entering serious combat mode. He reaches the altar and ignites the flame, calmly stating that this place is exactly where he's supposed to be. Insect monsters swarm the area, but he dismisses them as insignificant and directly challenges the real enemy to come out. A massive presence emerges from behind the altar, revealing the boss of this floor and setting the stage for the real fight. Anunis taunts Jinhyuk, mocking his eagerness to die, but Jinhyuk stands firm, ready to fight without wasting a word. Anunis laughs, mocking the idea of lowering himself to fight personally, calling it absurd to battle a mere mortal. Alice lunges forward with her scythe, while Jinhyuk braces himself, vowing to hold the threat back so she can escape. Jinhyuk smirks confidently, brushing off Alice's urgent warning as she reaches out, demanding he take the threat seriously. Anunis looms over the man, voice dripping with menace as he declares, "Let me show you what kind of person you made a contract with." Anunis tightens his grip on the curved hook, voice laced with dark amusement as he taunts, "How amusing." Anubis summons the judgment of Anubis, purple flames swirling as he demands, "Did you hear about me from that vampire you brought with you?" Judgment Girl activates the judgment of Anubis, summoning the towering scales as the first question echoes through the air. Jinhyuk stands firm, ready to face the absolute trial. Jinhyuk answers with unwavering confidence, acknowledging the ruthless rule. Patience lost grants the power to demand any question, truth irrelevant. Anunis narrows his eyes, accusing the target of seeking the elusive hive and confirming his every suspicion. Jinhyuk flashes an okay sign and grins, boasting about the black market value of the hive. Judgment Girl holds the glowing heart and balances the scales, her voice cutting through the silence with one final, fateful question. Anunus looms over the man, voice dripping with menace as he declares no one leaves his territory alive. Jin-hyuk clenches his fist, defiantly declaring he'd rather give up everything than back down, forcing Anunus to acknowledge his resolve. Jin-hyuk stands firm among jagged purple spikes as the judgment of Anubis ignites, declaring all conditions met without mercy. Jin-hyuk staggers as his stats plummet by half and his innate skills seal, the spectral beast looming like a dark curse behind him. Anubis declares the need for an agent to deliver judgment and selects a champion to carry out his will. Mantis channels a surge of purple energy, eyes burning with ruthless intent. Jin-hyuk steps forward with a serious glare as Alice recoils, disgust clear on her face. Mantis looms menacingly, declaring Jin-hyuk the champion destined to deliver judgment. Anubis glares with a glowing red eye, demanding, "What do you think of my dignified champion?" A hand reaches out, fingers brushing glowing blue squares as the voice declares, "Pretty tremendous." Jin-hyuk grips the glowing mini gramophone, declaring it enough to finally defeat the threat lurking in the shadows. Anunus mocks Jin-hyuk's sudden use of music as madness, but Jin-hyuk stands firm, knife ready, daring the stone creature to test his resolve. Anubis lashes out with his whip-like weapon, snarling that music is nothing but chaos unleashed. Jin-hyuk raises his glowing knife with fierce determination, ready to strike while cursing his opponent. The man playing cello unleashes a powerful, precise melody synced perfectly with the giant mantis's attack patterns, his voice cutting through the chaos like a weapon. Hands blow a sharp, commanding trumpet tune, echoing the relentless rhythm that drives the chase forward. Jin-hyuk blocks every desperate strike with his knife, turning fierce attacks into nothing but wasted effort. Anunus sweats in disbelief, realizing every move was anticipated and perfectly timed to the music's beat. This was no accident, it was a trap. Jin-hyuk wipes sweat from his brow, eyes sharp as the countdown ends. Now he can unleash his true power. Jin-hyuk slashes the air as countless spectral swords materialize around him, declaring the deadly sword cemetery activated. Alice swings her massive scythe, splattering green liquid as she taunts. "Did you think that would kill my champion?" Anubis snarls that the champion regenerates instantly but dies without stamina, and Jin-hyuk admits he can't kill the mantis in his current state. Jin-hyuk grips his knife with a menacing smile, vowing to make the mantis lose its will to live. Mantis bursts forward, radiating a deadly energy that fills the dark space with menace. Alice's eyes widen as she watches the fight escalate beyond her expectations, stunned by the overwhelming strength on display. She smiles nervously, eyes sharp with hope as she thinks he might actually help her get the revenge she craves. Mantis lunges with deadly intent, but Jin-hyuk stands firm, knife ready, while the cloaked figure commands him to keep fighting without hesitation. Mantis collapses, green slime dripping from its shattered form, while Jin-hyuk stands tall amid the wreckage, declared the proud warrior chosen by the gods. Jin-hyuk sits cross-legged, wearing a confident smile as Anunus recoils in surprise, shaken by the final blow meant to break his unyielding will. Jin-hyuk leaps backward, narrowly evading Mantis's crushing strike as the giant insect creature looms, ready to pounce again. Anubis breaks into a cold sweat, stunned as news hits that his champion not only lost but took their own life. Jin-hyuk stands over the fallen mantis, blade ready as the victory triggers a surge. Level up. A hand reaches for the glowing ice magic book, its snowflake symbol pulsing with power only found on the tower's middle floor. The character's eyes widen as a new skill icon with a crescent moon and star flashes, and the words, "Is this the effect of monopolize?" echo in their mind. Jin-hyuk summons jagged ice shards with ice molding activated, turning the tide with a power no one expected. Anunus growls, mocking the ice shards as mere toys and questioning the resolve behind such a fragile defense. Jin-hyuk clenches his fist, blue flames roaring to life as he spits back with fierce defiance, calling out the coward who only watches from the sidelines. Anubis reveals his true nature as a consciousness and demands to know the reason behind the challenge. He smiles, flames flickering around his hand as he declares the reason is simply because it's fun. Anubis lashes out with his whip-like weapon, purple flames roaring as he snarls at the insult, refusing to be seen as mere entertainment. Anubis summons an ancient beehive, unleashing giant insects that swarm violently as he roars. Disrespectful! Disrespectful! Mantis bellows. Kill that insolent human this instant! As a swarm of vicious insects descends with lethal intent. Mantis and another insect creature launch glowing energy orbs mid-air, their deadly assault blurring the space around them. He clenches his hand, blue energy crackling as he admits, "I guess this won't be enough." He whirls, flames erupting from his palm as he cuts through the encircling attackers with burning fury. Jinhyuk summons a blazing orb of fire and ice, hurling it forward with lethal precision that freezes and burns everything in its path. The blazing orb collides with a searing blue energy burst, igniting a fierce explosion that shakes the battlefield. The energy burst explodes violently as the skill Daylight is unlocked, signaling a new power unleashed. The system confirms a successful combination, and Jinhyuk gains a new AA-rank skill called Daylight. Daylight activates immediately, releasing a massive burst of white light that floods the area and overwhelms the battlefield. The skill details appear, explaining that Daylight is a wide-range flash attack meant to disrupt vision and control the field. Jinhyuk uses the light offensively, firing it straight at the hive-spawned enemy. Anubis reacts and decides to change tactics, realizing the light-based attack isn't enough to finish the fight. Anubis activates a new skill called Chosen Target, marking a specific enemy as the focus. The hive responds by spawning a powered-up bee entity, signaling an escalation in the encounter. Jinhyuk attacks again, but the marked enemies don't die. Instead, they split and multiply, revealing the real danger of Chosen Target as the chapter ends. The battlefield fills with hornet monsters. No matter what skills are used, they keep coming, showing that brute force alone won't solve this. The protagonist spots what he's been waiting for and pulls out a special item. A system message confirms it's a giant pill that can massively increase size. He throws the pill forward while moving in, forcing the hornets to react without fully understanding what he just used. The hornets attack immediately, but the system clarifies that the pill's effect has a delay. The protagonist uses this window to stay aggressive. Close combat continues. Hornets are cut down, but they don't disappear. Instead, more keep appearing, proving they aren't meant to be killed normally. Anubis loses patience and shouts orders, demanding the hornets kill the protagonist immediately as the situation starts slipping out of control. The swarm spreads and multiplies mid-battle. The narration explains the real threat. Enemies that don't die, only increase in number. The protagonist stays calm despite the chaos. The scene ends with the sense that this isn't about winning fast, but forcing the enemy into a worse position. He activates the unknown cube. The system confirms it's been used, and energy starts forming around him. The system lists the materials being consumed. All 4 items are selected to reinforce the unknown cube. The items merge. The cube reacts violently as the fusion process completes. He analyzes the repeated attack pattern calmly instead of panicking, preparing a counter. The cube's effect triggers. A fire attribute activates, changing the nature of his attacks. A giant pill effect activates. The enemy is overwhelmed as its body starts breaking apart. Multiple giant pills drop at once. The system confirms repeated item drops from the same enemy. He realizes the truth. This boss can multiply endlessly, giving infinite experience and items. Used correctly, it becomes the perfect copy and farming machine. Anubis realizes something is off. The situation isn't chaotic by chance. The setup looks intentional, and he starts questioning how this outcome was created. He notices the item combination and the spatial control. The protagonist didn't react randomly. He prepared the tools in advance to force this exact result. The trap becomes clear. The hive's core mechanic has been identified and exploited. This isn't brute force, it's system abuse done cleanly. Anubis confirms it. The target from the start was the hive itself, not the monsters. Once the core is hit, everything collapses. Anubis destroys the hive, ending the endless multiplication. The battlefield resets instantly. The advantage shifts back. The protagonist reacts calmly. No surprise, no panic. He treats it as expected progress and prepares to move forward, signaling the end of this phase and the start of the next climb. Anubis declares he will judge the MC later for disrespecting him, but his presence is already breaking down. The vessel hosting Anubis collapses completely and loses stability. System confirms the vessel of Anubis has been destroyed and the conditions are cleared. A system save triggers as the battlefield resets and energy disperses. The skill judgment of Anubis is granted with overranked difficulty and strict activation rules. Details explain the skill weakens the target by half and restricts abilities for 1 minute. Usable only once per target. The system warns that abusing the skill may invite direct wrath from ancient Egyptian gods. Multiple gods observe the MC, some showing interest while others react with hostility. The MC realizes he's been noticed by higher beings and comments on their narrow mindset. A winged girl appears suddenly, confused about what just happened, as the MC calmly states he already won. The MC status screen updates, showing a major level increase and newly unlocked abilities. His core stats double, and he decides to distribute points evenly for stability. A system video call interrupts his planning. His core stats double, and he decides to distribute points evenly for stability. A system video call interrupts his planning. The caller reveals himself as Cheon Yu-sung, surprised that the MC remembered him. Cheon questions where the MC is and whether he has entered an unknown zone. The MC shuts the question down and refuses to explain his location. Cheon Yu-sung calls Kong Jin-hyuk and says he has a proposal for him, which immediately puts Jin-hyuk on edge. Yu-sung explains that in 24 hours, the Awakened Association will hold a martial arts tournament, and all AA rank and above players, including himself, will participate. Jin-hyuk questions the timing, pointing out that the association is still failing to clear the third-floor boss, so holding a tournament now makes no sense to him. Yu-sung directly invites Jin-hyuk to join the tournament so they can settle things with a final fight to decide who wins and who loses. Jin-hyuk rejects the idea, saying he has no reason to waste time since Yu-sung doesn't even have a skill worth copying. Yu-sung reveals his leverage by showing an invitation ticket to the black market, making it clear this is the real reason Jin-hyuk won't be able to refuse. The auction hammer comes down hard. The item is sold, and the crowd reacts instantly. This isn't a normal market. This is power changing hands. The auctioneer smiles confidently, announcing the sale. Every bid here carries weight because everyone knows where they are. Cheon Yu-sung explains the truth. This place isn't a player coin exchange. It's a hidden black market. Only invited members can enter. Real money is used here, and the items are far beyond what ordinary players can access. Since the Tower of Trials became real, secret places like this started appearing. For someone aiming at the third-floor boss, this market is a goldmine. The protagonist realizes the irony. A secret place meant only for the rich, yet might give him exactly what he needs. Suddenly, a system message appears. His uploaded video has been chosen as a hot issue. The spread is faster than expected. A newly created unknown channel shoots to the top. The video shows the masked player agreeing to challenge the third-floor boss. Viewers explode with reactions. Some doubt him, some admire him, and others believe that only the unknown could pull this off. With over 50 million views, the profit is massive. Even after heavy fees, the earnings are worth it. The stage is set, and all eyes are on the masked challenger. The protagonist yawns in his seat. With all the noise and hype, Even the spectacle is starting to feel tiring. Around him, the crowd roars with excitement. He quietly wonders when this endless tournament is finally going to end. On the stage, fighters clash violently. Blades spark, abilities explode, and the audience cheers at every hit. The explanation follows. This tournament gathers 24 competitors, all ranked AA or higher. After repeated failures against the third-floor boss, the guilds and the Awaken Association created this event to regain public trust. Cameras roll nonstop. This isn't just combat. It's a performance meant to show strength and reliability. The protagonist sees through it immediately. In the end, it's nothing more than a carefully staged show. Still, it serves a purpose. Most people never get to see real combat up close, so this spectacle eases public tension. Then a new offer appears. An invitation is promised, but only if he agrees to participate in the battle. He stops them instantly. Without an AA rank, he technically can't compete. But the terms of the reward are far more interesting. The fight suddenly shifts. A dark presence erupts onto the stage, and the crowd freezes as something unnatural takes form. A demonic summon fully manifests. Its pressure alone overwhelms nearby fighters, instantly changing the balance. The summoned monster attacks without restraint. Fighters are blown away one after another, unable to respond. Explosions shake the arena. Screams cut through the chaos as several competitors are knocked out in seconds. When the dust settles, bodies lie scattered across the floor. The difference in power is undeniable. Observers take note of a coordinated two-man team. Their control and timing stand out even in the chaos. From the VIP seats, executives quietly analyze the scene. Players like these make the public feel safe. One man sees something different. Among everyone present, only a single individual truly catches his attention. The Black Cloud Guild CEO, Hong Diokpyo, watches with interest. Calm, sharp, and calculating, he's already made his judgment. A smile forms on his face. Firm control, wide perspective, and flawless decision-making. The kind of talent worth chasing. The executive reminds his aide to stop worrying about the battles and focus on the interview afterward. He personally invested to make it happen. The response is casual and confident. He claims he's surprisingly good on camera, as if this outcome was expected. From the audience, Jung Do-hyun yawns. He openly admits the winner has talent and could reach S rank within a few years. He adds that recruiting such a prospect would naturally raise the guild's reputation, though the man's attitude is irritating. Back in the arena, blades collide again. The fight resumes with sharp exchanges and rising pressure. A sudden burst of force erupts. Fighters are thrown back, unable to maintain their footing. In one decisive moment, Cheon Yu-sung steps forward. His presence alone silences the chaos. The broadcast announces it clearly. A champion has been decided. Viewers everywhere watch in disbelief. Phones light up as people realize the match ended faster than expected. Standing calmly with his weapon lowered, Cheon Yu-sung accepts the result. The real choice, however, is only just beginning. Jung Do-hyun grins, clearly amused. From his view, the champion looks clever, maybe smarter than he first appeared. Before he can say more, the white-haired man grabs him and forces him back into his seat, cutting him off cold. He points it out bluntly. Cheon Yu-sung isn't looking at Do-hyun. His gaze is aimed much higher. Do-hyun finally notices. Shock flashes across his face as he realizes the match isn't over at all. From the arena, Cheon Yu-sung speaks calmly, telling whoever is hiding to stop pretending and come out. He adds that only two people are worth fighting now, himself and Diokpyo. The rest don't matter. Do-hyun sighs in frustration. This turn of events is already getting under his skin. Then a man stands up from the upper seats. Tall, relaxed, hands in his pockets, his presence draws instant attention. The crowd erupts in confusion. Cheon Yu-sung lowers his sword, clearly acknowledging this new opponent. Officials scramble for information. The name finally appears on screen. Kong Jin-hyuk, an F-rank player. The challenger speaks first, calmly asking for a promise. When this ends, He wants it to be the last challenge. He adds bluntly that giving up is also a skill. Not every fight is worth repeating. Cheon Yusung answers without hesitation. He reminds him that he already became the champion. The reply comes with a grin. Yes, he admits it. Yusung did get stronger than before. But that strength came at a cost. He trained without rest, driven by a single goal: to defeat the man standing in front of him. The air shifts. Yusung tightens his grip and declares that this fight will decide everything, including the invitation. Blue energy erupts as his skill activates. Sword Ki floods the arena, flames of the soul chaser roaring to life. The opponent snaps back, fury exploding as he charges forward. Two forces collide, and the real battle finally begins. An explosion rips through the street as an energy beam slams into the nearby building, sending debris flying and forcing everyone to take cover. Concrete and metal rods crash down as the ground splits open beneath the ruined ceiling, threatening to bury anyone caught in the collapse. The man in dark clothes grits their teeth, standing firm as they demand how many damn skills their opponent has left to unleash. Jin Hyuk watches silently as the man crashes through the shattered glass floor, the sword clattering beside him, signaling the fight's brutal escalation. Jin Hyuk kneels beside the unconscious figure and claims the black market ticket, insisting this isn't stealing, but a promise kept. The man unleashes a giant ice missile that shatters the arena floor and follows it up by destroying the ceiling with a powerful light ray, shocking the audience who can't believe an F rank could cause such destruction. Jin Hyuk crouches and breaks the silence with a cold greeting, prompting the older man to acknowledge their last tense encounter at the museum. The older man admits their savage first meeting is water under the bridge. The Lee Yuri hesitates but agrees. An uneasy truce begins to form. Jin Hyuk squats on a ledge and breaks the uneasy silence by asking Lee Yuri, SSI, for a number, pushing their truce towards something more personal. Jin Hyuk offers his phone with a clear out. You can refuse if you don't want to, forcing the Lee Yuri to either accept the gesture or admit defeat. Jin Hyuk holds up his phone with a challenge. Of course, that's only if you can handle the consequences. Lee Yuri reveals the smartphone's true power, warning it's more threat than favor as she prepares to unleash it. Jin Hyuk steps forward with a forceful stomp, drawing shocked gasps from the spectators as laughter cuts through the tension. Jin Hyuk activates her eye power, challenging Jin Hyuk's strength with sharp disbelief despite his F rank status. Young Do-hyun raises his hands, stunned by the chaos unfolding, admitting he never imagined an event like this would happen. The dark-haired man questions the system's true nature, suspecting it's more than just a simple program, since it knows exactly what others are thinking. Young Do-hyun raises his hands defensively, insisting he didn't come to fight, forcing the man in the white shirt to ask what he really wants. Young Do-hyun raises his fist confidently, declaring they'll be colleagues working together from now on, leaving the onlooker surprised. Jin Hyuk accepts the handshake, replying, I'll be in your care, sealing their unexpected alliance. Jin Hyuk activates Eye of Truth with a confident smile, challenging Jin Hyuk's trust with a sharp, in your care, huh? Young Do-hyun extends his hand, forcing the older man into an unexpected alliance as reporters close in. The large muscular man with tattoos overpowers Jin Hyuk, seizing the spotlight from the new recruit who just defeated the tournament winner in front of the reporters. Jin Hyuk profile smiles, seeing through the obvious scheme and plotting his next move. Jin Hyuk activates the save function as the copy conditions trigger, locking in their progress before the next move. The skill notification pops up, granting the dark-haired man Giant's Clutch B, boosting their grip strength and letting them wield items 10 times heavier than before. Jin Hyuk maneuvers the claw machine, aiming to seize the prize that holds the skills others fought hard to obtain. Jin Hyuk breaks the silence with a sly smile, questioning if the handshake signifies the Black Cloud Guild and shifting the tension into a new direction. Young Do-hyun offers special treatment in exchange for joining, targeting those without guild ties, to strengthen his ranks. Young Do-hyun seals the deal with a firm handshake, his confident smile promising power and protection to those who join him. Jin-hyuk grabs the large muscular man with tattoos, challenging his belief that brute strength alone could win this fight. Young Do-hyun smiles confidently and activates his power, Giant's Clutch, declaring, "Of course," as the fiery force surges around him. The man laughs loudly, mocking Young Do-hyun with, "Isn't that obvious?" challenging their confidence head-on. Young Do-hyun and Jin-hyuk clasp hands, unleashing the judgment of Anubis that shatters the space around them. The woman unleashes her scaled power, but Young Do-hyun stands frozen, unmoved and tense, defying all expectations. Jin-hyuk grips the large muscular man with tattoos hand firmly, forcing him to struggle and grimace under the intense contest. Jin-hyuk taunts the large man's exaggerated pain, challenging his confidence despite the intense struggle. The large man grips Jin-hyuk's hands with fierce purple energy, shouting as they fights to break the hold. Jin-hyuk shocks the large muscular man with tattoos by shaking his hand mid-fight, forcing him to shout, "Stop! How dirty!" Jin-hyuk lands a solid punch, sending the large muscular man with tattoos crashing backward and shifting the fight's momentum. Young Do-hyun shouts and lands a brutal hit, sending his opponent crashing back into the debris. Jin-hyuk clenches his fist over Young Do-hyun's fallen form, mocking his betrayal with a brutal taunt that cuts deeper than any wound. An explosion rips through the plaza, sending spectators flying, but Jin-hyuk stands unfazed, eyes locked on the chaos he's unleashed. Dark-haired man activates Eye of Truth, piercing through every hidden lie and secret in the chaos below. Hong Daok-pyo shouts in furious defiance, unleashing power from his hand as he demands respect for the sacrifice behind Do-hyun's fall. Jin-hyuk steps forward, urging to pause the fight despite the rising tension, trying to prevent more bloodshed. Hong Daok-pyo erupts in fury, shouting down Jin-hyuk's plea and daring them to back out after coming this far. Jin-hyuk raises his hand calmly, refusing to escalate by targeting guild masters just yet. Hong Daok-pyo lunges forward, unleashing his power with a furious shout that breaks the tense silence. Hong Daok-pyo's furious shout cuts through as he lunges, demanding answers that shake the ground beneath them. Jin-hyuk raises his hand and activates LV.2 Daylight, shifting the battle's energy in an instant. Jin-hyuk's light beam blinds the crowd, forcing spectators to shield their eyes as chaos erupts in the arena. Jin-hyuk tightens their grip on the sword, ready to strike as the chaos closes in. Jin-hyuk blocks the large muscular man with tattoos punch just as the rift stat activates, slashing the level difference by 33 with 99 points used. Hong Daok-pyo unleashes his blood demon chi in disbelief as Jin-hyuk shockingly withstands the attack. Hong Daok-pyo and Jin-hyuk clash, their red energy crackling as Daok-pyo admits Jin-hyuk matches the vanguard strength. Hong Daok-pyo scoffs loudly, refusing to believe anyone could stand against the second floor's boss, the Colossus. Jin-hyuk grips his dagger just as Hong Daok-pyo activates his power and urgently demands, "Please stop." Young Do-hyun taunts the black-haired man in coat to act more dependable in front of the martial arts tournament crowd, raising the stakes between them. Han Sang-jin steps forward, raising their hand to command everyone's attention with a single, sharp declaration. President raises his hand, signaling authority as the room falls silent under his command. Jin-hyuk in the white shirt steps forward, confirming they's the one who leads Korea's Awakened. President reveals his identity as Han Sang-jin, the Awakened Association leader, shifting the power dynamics instantly. Hyok-pyo accuses a rival of brutalizing a guild player, forcing the president into a tense confrontation that could ignite a full-scale conflict. The president challenges the Hyok-pyo excuse for the injuries, refusing to let the brutalization slide as tensions escalate. The president steps forward, revealing his identity as Han Sang-jin and directly addressing player Kong Jin-hyuk, raising the stakes in a confrontation. The president admits he only learned about Kong Jin-hyuk 20 minutes ago after a call from Department Head Park, shifting the power dynamic with this new information. The reporter urgently relays that he was told to come immediately because something unbelievable is happening, sparking tension among the seated men in suits. The president confronts Jin-hyuk about irregularities in his test results and the pressure he put on the examiner, raising serious questions. Men in suits bowing publicly accept responsibility for the misassessment and apologize as the new 16th S rank is officially announced. Voices erupt as the crowd points and shouts about the new S rank player, while orders fly to summon everyone in the Someone conference room immediately. The crowd surges forward, pushing past barriers as the reporter shouts for space, while the Black Crowd Guild CEO watches the chaos unfold with a serious gaze. Jong Do-hyun collapses backward, eyes rolling back as his body goes limp, signaling a sudden and severe blow. Black Crowd Guild CEO's shock breaks as he realizes the tournament is slipping away, his confidence crumbling with every devastating loss. CEO urgently calls for a last-ditch plan, refusing to let the tournament slip away completely. The Black Crowd Guild CEO grabs the reporter's arm mid-sentence, cutting off the announcement about clearing the third-floor boss. A fist lands hard, sending the man in the white shirt crashing backward as they pleads for a call next time. The Black Crowd Guild CEO stands firm, his serious gaze cutting through the chaos as the fight pauses. Jin-hyuk confidently as reporters swarm with cameras and microphones, demanding answers that could change everything. Black Crowd Guild CEO walks away from the fallen man as the crowd gasps, the silence breaking with shock and disbelief. The ability acquisition message pops up, confirming the unique Blood Demon Chi has been unlocked and prompting the save option. President reveals the official results of the Super Rookie, sparking a flood of speculation and debates in the comment section about Kong Jin-hyuk's next move. Jin-hyuk scrolls through reactions on his phone, noting the positive responses that could shift the game. President confirms the trip to Las Vegas and offers a plane as an apology, shifting the stakes with unexpected support. Jin-hyuk settles into the chair, realizing high rank means a completely different level of treatment. The airplane dives sharply toward the rocky cliffs, forcing everyone on board to brace for impact. Air hostess pushes a cart while politely excusing herself, signaling a shift in the tense moment. Hostess tries the food and wine, realizing this is their first taste of first-class luxury. The young man tastes the food with a cautious spoonful, searching for a sign this luxury is worth the risk. Jin-hyuk calls out, breaking the tense silence, and CEO Diokpyo responds, their brief exchange shifting the focus back to the uneasy meal. Alex Jadreau points sharply at the man in front, sparking a quick confirmation from the black-haired man, while the brown-haired woman in blue suit laughs, breaking the tension. Alex Jadreau emits a strange, unsettling scent that reeks of blood, making everyone instinctively recoil and refuse to engage. Alice questions Jin-hyuk's claim, but she insists the man isn't an ordinary human, raising the stakes of their tense exchange. Jin-hyuk realizes Alice's brutal judgment means they's far from ordinary, forcing them to reconsider their own hidden threat. Jin-hyuk activates Eye of Truth, instantly revealing a hidden layer beneath Alice's brutal judgment that shakes their understanding completely. Alex Jadreau reveals the copy condition, calling out a demonic human and turning the mystery deeper with his confident smile. Jin-hyuk sweats, shaken by the revelation that the calm, demonic human was just an act. Alex Jadreau breaks the silence with a sharp, huh, catching the black-haired man off guard and shifting the tension between them. Alex Jadreau points directly and calls out player Kong Jin-hyuk by name, revealing he knows about the recent rank assessment in Korea. Jin-hyuk, the dark figure behind him, isn't a coincidence, and that others beyond the big guilds are now watching him after the S rank announcement. Alex Jadreau confirms his recent rank reassessment, catching CEO Diokpio off guard with news of the martial arts tournament coverage. Alex Jadreau steps forward, handing over a business card and formally introducing himself to Diokpio. Alex Jadreau leans forward with a thumbs up, suggesting they celebrate their chance meeting with a drink to pass the long flight. Alex Jadreau leans forward with a thumbs up, suggesting they celebrate their chance meeting with a drink to pass the long flight. They pulled out a bottle of Charles XIII cognac, spinning stories that deepened the game's stakes as the tension thickened around the table. Alex Jadreau sips from his glass while recounting how his cosmetics business thrived despite the chaos unleashed by the Tower of Trials, revealing the unexpected challenges behind his success. Jin Hyuk smiles knowingly, revealing he already understands the true identity the demonic human struggles to convey. Jin Hyuk smiles knowingly, revealing he already understands the true identity the demonic human struggles to convey. Alex Jadreau reveals his plan to dive into the awakened business, aiming to capitalize on the shifting times. Alex Jadreau reveals his plan to dive into the awakened business, aiming to capitalize on the shifting times. Alex Jadreau questions Jin Hyuk about a masked player causing trouble, pushing the conversation toward uncovering this new threat. Alex raises a glass and presses Jin Hyuk about the masked player's bold claim to clear the third-floor boss, asking if there's any connection between them. Alex Jadreau admits their third-floor raid plans are derailed because the masked player is aggressively blocking their progress. Alex Jadreau reveals the masked player insists on handling something alone, claiming it's to protect a comrade and warning others not to interfere. Jin Hyuk challenges Alex Jadreau's claim of knowing the unknown, and Alex casually confirms it, raising the stakes in their tense exchange. Alex Jadreau laughs off the blatant greed of unknown Sasai, mocking how calmly he lies right to the person's face without a flicker of doubt. Alex Jadreau laughs off the blatant greed of unknown Sasai, mocking how calmly he lies right to the person's face without a flicker of doubt. Alex Jadreau pours a drink and extends a sharp invitation to join them in the third-floor boss room, promising it'll be a great help. Alex Jadreau pours a drink and extends a sharp invitation to join them in the third-floor boss room, promising it'll be a great help. Alex Jadreau assures that as an S rank, no one can interfere with the solo raid and hints at a hidden item waiting in the third-floor boss room. Jin Hyuk refuses the offered bottle, insisting, "I'm okay," keeping his focus sharp despite the brief pause in their flight. Jin Hyuk refuses the offered bottle, insisting, "I'm okay," keeping his focus sharp despite the brief pause in their flight. Alex Jadreau pushes back with a confident promise. The tougher the challenge Jin Hyuk faces, the greater the reward waiting on the other side. Alex Jadreau reveals the legendary potion said to cure any disease and heal even a broken heart, raising the stakes in their desperate fight. Alex Jadreau reveals the bottle contains an elixir, a game-changing secret weapon in their fight. Jin Hyuk's surprise reveals the elixir's unexpected potency, shifting the stakes in an instant. Jin Hyuk clutches the rare blue vial, questioning the demonic human association's power while temptation creeps in. Alex Jadreau confidently offers an elixir as advance payment, claiming anyone would desire such a valuable item. Alex Jadreau activates the contract's power by pointing at it and pressing the pin, forcing the stakes higher with his challenge to sign. The man's gaze fixes on the dark smoke rising from the table as the contract of the dead's power begins to manifest. Jin Hyuk reads the contract carefully, noting that though it looks ordinary, breaching its conditions carries severe consequences. The dagger floats, releasing purple smoke as the warning, "Death will come to you," appears on the paper, sealing a deadly fate. The man firmly refuses to sign the cursed document, holding a small object as they warns that making enemies of the large guilds is too risky. Alex Jadreau taunts his opponent's stubborn refusal, revealing his disappointment as hopes for cooperation fade. Men in suits bowing offer a water bottle as Alex Genre coldly dismisses the elixir deal, forcing the conversation into uncertain territory. Holding the bottle, Alex admits caution, but hints this blue liquid might be their only option left. Holding the bottle, Alex admits caution, but hints this blue liquid might be their only option left. Alex Genre lashes out in anger, demanding an explanation as his control starts slipping. Alex leans forward, gripping the armrest as he pulls out an insane amount of mana. Everyone's convinced he's ready to crash this plane if it comes to that. The pilot announces sudden turbulence, ordering everyone to buckle up as the seatbelt sign lights up, forcing a tense pause mid-flight. Alex questions the Jinhyuk about knowing the announcement in advance before preparing to sit back down. Alex slouches in the chair, admitting he had a rough idea about the announcement while calling out the other skill at acting. Alex snaps a sharp warning, threatening that unknown SSI will make them pay no matter the cost. The man with eyes smirks and points, calling out the lie and accusing Alex of being on unknown's side after their humiliation at the Olympus meeting. Alex's shock and sweat reveal his panic as the man's accusation hits too close to home. Could he really be tied to unknown? The hand slams down as doubt creeps in. Maybe the man's bluffing, or maybe the large guilds really did share intel, since they hit S rank. Jinhyuk a small object, teasing that he might spill info if the other man plays nice, raising the stakes with a risky gamble. The airplane lifts off the runway, wheels leaving the ground as Alex vows, "I'll see you next time," cutting the chase for now. Alex slips into a crowded casino, blending in as the city's neon chaos hides the next move. The red-haired woman in red top poses on a towering billboard, launching the new Fire Blossom perfume that's about to stir the city's undercurrents. Tiny Girl navigates the crowded indoor market, cautiously noting it's a human city while reminding to keep the promise of no trouble. Tiny Girl navigates the crowded indoor market, cautiously noting it's a human city while reminding to keep the promise of no trouble. Jinhyuk, the memory of a world, pushing the limits of their power indoors. They fuse Eye of Truth, S, and Blood Demon Chi, S, into a single skill, unlocking a new power in the virtual interface. Fusion completes, granting the Eye of Gluttony, SSS, skill with barrier immunity, status inspection, view sharing, and mind-reading abilities. They activate the hexagonal symbol now, sacrificing stability to gain immediate power for the fight ahead. Jinhyuk is fist, ready to face whatever waits inside the casino as the Tiny Girl points toward the entrance, questioning their next move. Jinhyuk explains that magic skills are banned in regular casinos, leaving Tiny Girl skeptical about their options moving forward. Man in sidecar refuses to take money by force, insisting that stealing from hardworking people just to fund the auction crosses a line. Tiny Girl challenges the man's refusal, demanding to know where they're supposed to go now. Tiny Girl challenges the man's refusal, demanding to know where they're supposed to go now. Tiny Girl clenches her fists and smiles brightly, clearly intrigued by the promise of something incomparable. Tiny Girl clenches her fists and smiles brightly, clearly intrigued by the promise of something incomparable. Tiny Girl voices her displeasure with the building, but the other insists they're not here to play around, raising the stakes instantly. An angry man accuses Tiny Girl of using forbidden skills, escalating the tension as Tiny Girl and another watch silently. The man inside car kicks Alex in the face, accusing him of using all sorts of skills and calling out his hypocrisy. Man falling forward collapses as Tiny Girl walks away coldly, dropping the brutal truth. In this place, the one who gets scammed is the dumbass. Man falling forward collapses as Tiny Girl walks away coldly, dropping the brutal truth. In this place, the one who gets scammed is the dumbass. They tighten their grip on the fading hope, knowing that surrendering now means losing everything they've fought for. The man in the white coat steadies Tiny Girl, reminding her this casino is a rare place where magic can be unleashed without limits. The man orders drinks for Tiny Girl without hesitation, telling the bartender to put everything on his tab, while she loudly complains about the choice. They downs the small cup without hesitation as they yells, "What are you going to do by yourself?" They downs the small cup without hesitation as they yells, "What are you going to do by yourself?" Table leader activates Source Seal Level 3, blocking all skills on the designated card for 10 minutes, while keeping his own abilities active. Padro reveals his cards, relieved to find a decent hand despite the Source Seal's restrictions locking out all other skills. Alex holds his cards steady, his intense gaze unshaken as his opponent sweats over mounting losses at the gambling table. The dealer pushes a hefty raise forward, declaring this round will decide everything as tension spikes around the poker table. The man in the white shirt toys with a chip before sliding a massive stack forward, daring the man in the red vest to match or fold. The man in the red vest pushes an even bigger stack forward, raising the stakes and forcing the man in the white shirt to decide whether to fold or go all in. The man in the red vest pushes an even bigger stack forward, raising the stakes and forcing the man in the white shirt to decide whether to fold or go all in. The man in the red vest demands to know which guild runs the place, and the man with purple eyes reveals it's managed by the Scavenger Guild. The man in the red vest demands to know which guild runs the place, and the man with purple eyes reveals it's managed by the Scavenger Guild. The man in the formal vest steps forward, warning that too many questions might not be allowed here, forcing everyone to reconsider their approach. Flipping the cards decisively, the man declares the outcome irrelevant, forcing everyone to brace for what's truly at stake. Padro activates his power to substitute the cards mid-flip, cutting off any chance for a counterattack. Padro activates his power to substitute the cards mid-flip, cutting off any chance for a counterattack. Alex clenches the same pair of jacks, shattering the table leader's confidence as he screams, "I'm sure I substituted them with my ability." Holding 2 kings, Alex breathes relief, admitting victory came by a hair's width despite the risky bluff. Holding 2 kings, Alex breathes relief, admitting victory came by a hair's width despite the risky bluff. Padro exposes their rivals' hidden intentions with the eye of gluttony, forcing a desperate bluff that shifts the power balance instantly. Padro forces the rival to reveal a crucial weakness, turning the tide as allies rally behind them for a final strike. The staff member cuts ties, declaring those who take this much money aren't customers anymore, forcing a harsh reckoning. The staff member orders to drag the man into a room, signaling the situation is about to escalate beyond words. The staff member orders to drag the man into a room, signaling the situation is about to escalate beyond words. The staff member narrows his eyes, recalling a whispered secret overheard just outside, tightening the tension between them as he demands, "What was it?" The staff member narrows his eyes, recalling a whispered secret overheard just outside, tightening the tension between them as he demands, "What was it?" The man with sunglasses and gun dodges the gunfire and fires back, turning the fight deadly in the confined room. Jinhyuk crashes into the floor, sending a bottle, glass, and coin flying through the air and disrupting the fight. Jinhyuk seizes the moment to grab the fallen coin, turning the disrupted fight to their advantage. They raise the cocktail glass, declaring it symbolizes the passionate love between couples, shifting the tension with a surprising toast. They raise the cocktail glass, declaring it symbolizes the passionate love between couples, shifting the tension with a surprising toast. The someone shatters them glass on the ground, daring anyone to challenge them cold dismissal of love's worth. Section Chief senses an urgent threat despite the chaos, warning that no lawlessness justifies what's about to happen. The black-haired man lands a brutal punch, sending the brown-haired man reeling as the warning echoes. No one goes wild like this all by themselves. Padro urgently shows the red object to Section Chief, who snaps back angrily, refusing to believe anything could be more serious right now. Section Chief's shock deepens as he reads the message on his phone, realizing the situation is far worse than he thought. The The smartphone reveals a photo of Jin-hyuk with the caption confirming him as a newly assessed S-rank player in South Korea just days ago. Section Chief's shock deepens as he realizes an S-rank player, rarer than even America's elite, is standing right before him. They stand atop the casino rubble, a single eye flashing as they threatens to obliterate the entire building if they chooses. They stand atop the casino rubble, a single eye flashing as they threatens to obliterate the entire building if they chooses. Chief kneels, apologizing for their rude behavior and begging for forgiveness as scattered cards lie forgotten on the floor. Jin-hyuk snaps at the Jin-hyuk, accusing them of only apologizing now because they realize they crossed the wrong person after seeing his rank. The section chief kneels, stammering a defense, but the other man dismisses it as absurd, showing no mercy. Jin-hyuk leans in, taunting that in this game, only the fool gets scammed, leaving the red-haired man trapped by their own fear. The reddish-brown-haired man demands their winnings and mental damage compensation, refusing to back down despite the accusing fingers pointed at them. Jin-hyuk grabs the section Jin-hyuk by the collar, demanding a steep $10 million settlement or threatening to shut down their operation for good. Checking the phone, Jin-hyuk confirms the payment should cover the items and watches the car approach, waiting for the delivery to arrive. Jin-hyuk confirms the man in suit and car is customer number 117 and offers to escort him to the auction house. Jin-hyuk sits silently inside the tinted car, realizing the auction house's location remains a tightly guarded secret as the road stretches ahead. The car speeds toward the illuminated building as Jin-hyuk's voice cuts through the night, already eager for what's ahead. Jin-hyuk approaches the mansion entrance and delivers a chilling welcome. Then, please enjoy your stay. The man grips the pendant tightly, demanding the unseen listener to keep their promise and hurry before disappearing into a place beyond sight. Tiny Jin-hyuk declares her happiness openly, claiming this place suits a noble being like herself, while Jin-hyuk watches, curious but reserved. Jin-hyuk and the girl climb the stairs toward the building as she warns him not to stand out during the auction. Jin-hyuk slips inside the auction, instantly catching the sharp gaze of a suspicious guard. The dark-haired person holding glass reveals the ichthyosaur's heart will appear at this year's auction, all thanks to the Tower of Trials. The girl recoils, covering her nose at a sudden stench, while Jin-hyuk demands to know what's wrong. Jin-hyuk stares at the skull staff as the girl gags at its foul smell, breaking the silence with a curt, "It stinks." Demonic Man grips his cane firmly as the blonde man in suit reveals himself as Julius Cedric, claiming mastery over the other man and shifting the power dynamic in an instant. Alex stands silently, bruised but unyielding, as the weight of Julius's claim hangs heavy in the room. Chief activates the Eye of Gluttony, revealing Julius Cedric's stats and shifting the balance of power in an instant. The Eye of Gluttony reveals Julius Cedric's full Necromancer stats and their rare ability that efficiently controls multiple summons with minimal mana. Jin-hyuk's frustration spikes as he struggles with the tablet's impossible copy condition, deciding to provoke Julius Cedric and force the system's hand. The demonic man laughs off the tension, revealing he values the girl's gift, while she responds with a relieved smile that shifts the mood unexpectedly. The man in the white shirt presses Demonic Man for crucial information about the unknown, forcing a rare moment of seriousness from the hooded master. The man in the white jacket deflects the tense inquiry with a smile, insisting they postpone the discussion despite Demonic Man's serious readiness. Jin-hyuk accepts the skull object as Demonic Man insists there's no time to waste and they must act immediately. Jin-hyuk scoffs at the urgency, brushing off responsibility as he grips the skull object and retorts, "I missed the part where that's my problem." The angry man clenches his fist, shouting "son of a bitch," as the girl glances back and Alex walks away, leaving the tension hanging in the room. Demonic Man places a firm hand on Alex's shoulder, urging him to leave the angry man alone because there's still a way forward. The woman wants to erase the annoying bystanders, but Demonic Man warns that causing trouble here will only backfire. Demonic Man steps forward, insisting they handle the situation quietly to avoid drawing unwanted attention. The auctioneer commands the audience to take their seats as the event officially begins, shifting the focus to the stage. The blonde man in suit slams the gavel and declares the 175th black market auction officially underway, igniting a wave of anticipation across the room. A masked fighter bursts through the crowd, triggering chaos as guards scramble to contain the sudden attack. The blonde man in suit raises the auction paddle and shouts the starting bid at $100,000, forcing the crowd to refocus amid the chaos. A rival bidder slams down a counteroffer, doubling the stakes and igniting a fierce bidding war that threatens to spiral out of control. The dark-haired man reveals no artisans can work with meteoric iron now, shutting down any immediate advantage from the rare material. A bidder raises their paddle, pushing the price to $300,000 as the auctioneer calls for more bids. Jin-hyuk smirks, raising paddle 44 to secure the meteoric iron at a steal, signaling the auction stakes just got real. The blonde man in suit slams the podium, shouting the bid number 6 and a shocking $1 million, sending ripples through the room. The crowd gasps as the someone hesitates, eyes darting nervously toward the figure who just raised the stakes. The auctioneer signals, "Now!" and the bidding explodes from $100,000 to $200,000 in seconds. Jin-hyuk slams his paddle down and shouts, "300,000, pushing the bidding war into even more dangerous territory. The man raises his paddle and shouts, $1 million, blasting the bid far past the last offer. The auctioneer's shout of $1 million shocks the crowd, tripling the bid and challenging anyone else to top it. The someone strikes the gavel, sealing the deal. Sold to the old gentleman for $1 million. Jin-hyuk glares as the man smirks, realizing, "I knew it. He's planning on buying everything that I bid for." Jin-hyuk leans in with a smirk, eyes locked on Alice as he fires back. "That's how you're going to play. I guess it." The auctioneer announces the next item's origin, and the hand holding paddle number 44 instantly raises it with a sharp bid of $500,000. Jin-hyuk raises paddle 44 with a $500,000 bid, ignoring warnings, and declares, "Just wait, I have a plan." Security rushes toward someone, but they smirks, ready to turn the chaos to their advantage. Jin-hyuk shouts, "We have $1 million. Is there anyone else?" pushing the auction into a fierce bidding war with a quick $1.5 million challenge. The demonic man shouts $3 million and raises his paddle, escalating the auction to a new, aggressive high bid. The auctioneer slams the gavel and declares, "We have $3 million, pushing the stakes even higher. Jin-hyuk sits silently, scanning the room before sharply asking, "Are there any more bids?" The man breaks down in tears as the man declares, "Sold to the old gentleman for $3 million. The buyer steps forward, coldly confirming the deal, while the someone's sobs echo through the silent room. The man raises paddle number 6 and points firmly as the man shouts, "Sold," signaling the final seal on the deal. The blonde man leans in, urging, "Master, why don't we give up on something at least once?" while the man in the dark hooded cloak stands silently, weighed down by the tension. The man grabs the blonde man, shouting, "You imbecile! What are you going to do if he easily gets something that he wants if we do that?" Man grits his teeth, determined despite losses. "Though I'm suffering some losses, I have plenty of funds. I'll secure the items that he's aiming for." Auctioneer raises his hand, declaring, "The next item is for the true fans. I introduce to you the first chessboard." The man scoffs, "How trivial," while Jin-hyuk hesitates with paddle 44 and Alice nervously shake her legs, doubting the value of a chessboard without pieces. Jin-hyuk raises paddle 44 and shouts, "50,000. We." Man slams down paddle 100,000 and yells, "He bid higher," as the auction stakes double instantly. Bids skyrocket from 150,000 to 8 million as Jinhyuk and the demonic someone trade fierce shouts, pushing the auction into a brutal war of numbers. The crowd reels as Jinhyuk calmly holds paddle 44, while the brown-haired someone shouts, "This is crazy. Who the hell buys a chessboard for 8 million? Jinhyuk raises paddle 44 and bids 10 million, triggering a smile from the demonic someone. The man shouts a shocking bid of $30 million, raising the stakes and stealing the spotlight. The demonic man mocks the bid, declaring $10 million seems to be all you have, and claims to have uncovered the true desire behind the money. They slams down a higher bid, forcing the room to confront just how far desperation will push them. Jinhyuk wipes sweat from his brow, clenching his teeth as he admits, "I wasted so much of his funds, yet he still has this much?" The demonic someone laughs triumphantly as he snatches the first chessboard for 30 million, leaving Jinhyuk clutching his head and shouting, "I need a plan." Alice shocks the room by confidently raising the bid to 100 million, turning the stakes even higher. The man shouts in disbelief, 100 million? 100 million for that mere chessboard? As the room reels from the outrageous bid, Alice crosses her arms, questioning, "What the hell is with that brat?" While Jinhyuk nervously admits, "It is but..." The man insists he can't stop now after already sinking over $700 million in a worthless junk, proving just how deep he's in. The man shouts a desperate bid of 110 million, but Alice immediately counters with a bold 200 million, turning the auction into a fierce showdown. The man points accusingly, shouting, "Enough of your bullshit. Do you expect me to believe that you have $200 million? While Jinhyuk grips paddle 44, tension rising between them. The auctioneer challenges the young lady, demanding, "Can you provide proof of balance?" as he gestures toward the podium. Alice conjures a magical orb, questioning with a sharp proof as she challenges the Alice's demand. Someone hurls the orb, shattering the illusion and revealing the hidden truth behind the enemy's deception. The brown-haired man in suit examines the crown with disbelief, muttering, "You unbelievable. Just this crown alone is easily worth over $500 million. Man spits out a bidder, "That brat," as his tears reveal a mix of anger and disbelief. Alice clenches her fist, snarling, "Impertinent humans." As her serious glare hints, she's far from ordinary. Jinhyuk claps confidently, proving he's even more dangerous than Alice by treating her like his subordinate. The man warns the auctioneer that their plan has been overturned by an enemy more annoying than unknown, shaking the auctioneer's confidence. Jinhyuk clenches his fist, triggering the man to walk away with his weapon as he says, "Proceed with Plan B." The auctioneer announces, "Congratulations. We will deliver the first chessboard to the young lady," as the trophy is presented. Alice hesitates, saying, "I'm thankful, but isn't it too much? Give it to him, not me," while Jinhyuk stands tense with the weapons behind them. Alice declares, "I was thinking of clearing out my treasury either way," folding her arms firmly and warning, "I won't tolerate imbeciles looking down on my contractor." Alice stands confidently with arms crossed while Jinhyuk, sweating, admits, "This girl," so she knows how to say some commendable things. Jinhyuk stares at the sudden explosion, his confidence shaken as chaos erupts nearby. Jinhyuk stares at the sudden explosion, his confidence shaken as chaos erupts nearby. Man in dark suit shouting sprint toward the exit as the man in dark suit shouting yells, "We have TO, get out of here!" to escape the collapsing building. People shouting, "Where are you all?" in a rush TO, as a cigarette falls forgotten amid the chaos. Alex lunges through laser beams as two men flee the door, shouting, "You're all precious sacrifices, TO, be my materials." Alex activates the mana furnace, clutching a small object as the magic circle ignites beneath his hand. Alex activates the mana furnace, clutching a small object as the magic circle ignites beneath his hand. The man collapses amid the flames, desperate and crying out, "Please save me." Clenching his teeth, the man braces himself, refusing to surrender despite the crushing despair. Jin-hyuk unleashes a fierce accusation, shouting, "You've crossed too far beyond the line, you sick bastard." Monster roars fiercely, unleashing a surge of energy that shakes everything around. Jin-hyuk lashes out with sharp words, calling out the enemy as a disgusting necromancer. Alex gestures confidently, defending the monster with, "Disgusting? How can you say that after seeing these lovely guys?" Alex gestures confidently, defending the monster with, "Disgusting? How can you say that after seeing these lovely guys?" Alex recalls the airplane humiliation and declares, "Since the order to have you removed is issued," escalating the threat. The monster roars and lunges forward, shouting, "There's no reason to be patient any longer." The monster lunges at Jin-hyuk, who stands ready with a confident smile, prepared to counter the attack. Jin-hyuk charges forward, eyes locked on his target as he prepares to strike. Monsters charge through the debris, but Jin-hyuk's grin only widens as he taunts, "You're pretty quick." Our boy dodges a claw swipe and counters with a sharp strike, forcing the monsters to retreat briefly. Jin-hyuk casts a powerful spell, explaining, "That punk doesn't like gross bastards, so she ran away herself," while revealing he had to release her physical body to use his magic. Jin-hyuk calculates the ongoing damage from the smelting furnace, realizing the threat won't stop until he acts. Two red monsters close in behind Jin-hyuk, who warns, "So dragging on this fight will be bad." An explosion sends rocks and debris flying as someone declares, "I'll finish this fight as fast as I can." Jin-hyuk unleashes Sword Cemetery, firing energy beams that tear through the monsters. Alex casts magic with symbols, taunting, "Wow, how surprising." Casting a powerful spell with a red magic circle, the man claims, "It's all right with me, since I have a lot of materials lying around." Monsters advance as Alex raises his arms, confidently declaring, "There's nothing easier than this," while Alex lies defenseless on the ground. Jin-hyuk watches as two fiery monsters burst forth, muttering, "Is this how he's planning on dragging on the fight?" Jin-hyuk advances as the monsters close in, explaining, "As long as he can absorb people's life force, he'll be able to continually raise monsters and cause the opponent to deplete their mana." They smiles menacingly, declaring, "Is how necromancers fight." Jin-hyuk swings his sword fiercely, cutting through the monsters as they close in for the attack. Jin-hyuk slashes forward with his sword, taunting, "So, is that all you got for your trump card?" Jin-hyuk unleashes a devastating energy attack, declaring, "I'll burn em all before they are resurrected," as daylight activates. Two monsters recoil instinctively as the sword above blazes with blinding light, halting their advance underground. Alex readying a power as the warning cuts through. "TSH, so you're going to use that?" Alex channels his energy, bracing as monsters close in, while his opponent plots to scatter and strike before the rays fully form. Monsters are freezes, stunned by the sudden stillness around them as they blurts, why aren't they moving?" The monster's feet freeze solid, trapping its massive in place as the stunned voice shouts, "Their feet are frozen." Jin-hyuk clenches the shards, ready to shatter the frozen trap and turn the tide. Alex shouts in frustration, "Are you telling me that I couldn't see him use the ice skill because of the flashing light?" A blinding energy beam crashes down onto the building, flooding the area with intense light. Alex falls hard and struggles to stand, gasping, "I can't believe it." Alex shouts, "My cuties," while the other claims, "They turned out that way because they were cuties," revealing their twisted pride amid the chaos. Alex fires a powerful energy blast, but Jin-hyuk blocks it with a sharp FUCK reaction, escalating their deadly clash. Alex dashes through the alley, pushing his limits to escape the relentless pursuit. Alex panics over his unexpected loss and decides to flee fast to regroup with Mast. Alex reels from a sudden blow, his escape plan now in jeopardy. Jin-hyuk launches a precise throwing attack, declaring, "This is how you make a throwing attack," forcing the enemy to scramble for cover. Jin-hyuk stands over Son of Host, taunting, "Is running all you can do after causing this chaos? I'll tell you how I'll kill you now." Coughing up blood, the victim gasps. For the next 30 minutes, blood will slowly fill up your lungs, sealing a slow, suffocating fate. Clenching his fist, Jin-hyuk coldly declares, "The next painful way to die after burning to death is probably asphyxiation," promising a swift end without prolonged suffering. A hand offers the blue elixir with the demand, "That is if you tell me about the demon society." Alex clutches the attacker's leg, coughing blood and gasping. "It's the demon, Shit." Son of Host struggles under the dark figure's weight, gasping, "If that's the case, then I'll write it out." Jin-hyuk pins Alex down, mocking his stubborn silence with, "I guess it can't be helped if you don't want to tell me." A hand reaches into a pocket, tossing back the item with, "I guess I won't need this then. You can take it back." The business card floats on the dark liquid as the voice demands, "And I have a favor," setting the stakes higher. Jin-hyuk towers over the fallen Son of Host, unleashing a brutal curse. "I hope you die a slow and painful death. You fucking trashy bastard." Jin-hyuk towers over the fallen Son of Host, unleashing a brutal curse. "I hope you die a slow and painful death. You fucking trashy bastard." Jin-hyuk inspects the magical materials, noting the potential to expand inventory space with items like ORE created by Michelangelo and Dragon's Heart. Jin-hyuk combines the Dragon's Heart and Michelangelo's ore to create a huge space inventory bag with a 5,000 kilograms capacity. Jin-hyuk turns as Son of Host nervously interrupts, while a man in a suit expresses, "Thank you so much for saving us." Son of Host clings tightly, whispering, "Thank you, Hyung," revealing his identity as the host's son. Jin-hyuk admits he needed the item and tries to justify taking it, while Jin-hyuk listens silently and finally says, "It's fine." Jin-hyuk admits he needed the item and tries to justify taking it, while Jin-hyuk listens silently and finally says, "It's fine." Son of Host kneels, hugging his child tightly while confessing, "I have no thoughts of accusing the person who saved my one and only son." Jin-hyuk steps forward, admitting, "This is my first time experiencing this, but it's not bad," as Son of Host clutches his child with a mix of relief and uncertainty. In third floor of the Tower of Trials, stepping into the Cathedral of Abhorrence where the Real Challenge begins. Guy blocks a volley of arrows with his shield, but the relentless barrage pushes it back as he snaps, "Seichai-ti, why is the security here so annoying?" The woman vents her frustration. "Do we really have to come in like this every time?" While the man snaps back, "Stop complaining, Melina," revealing his own anger over Alex's death. The woman glares as the man presses his sword close, warning, "That won't be a good idea if you don't want to die." The leader-like man cuts through their tension, demanding, "Enough you two. Are you two companions who've survived together for more than 10 years? The leader, like someone, grows impatient, demanding, "Why is it that you're always at each other's throats?" As the woman visibly bristles at the accusation. They snaps back, "Because you never listen," fueling the tension that's about to explode. The woman shuts her eyes and declares, "He probably played some games before, but that doesn't make him any different from other rankers." The leader-like man warns, "Don't get careless." While the man questions if their boss's recklessness to reach the 20th floor really means their opponent is beyond them. The woman crosses her arms and dismisses the concern, saying, "I also think that your worries are a bit excessive." The man explains they chose the Tower of Trials VR world to avoid police surveillance, but the woman points out that others don't have such reasons, challenging his logic. The woman sits on the bench, cutting through excuses with, "Even if woman has nothing else to do, there's no reason." Woman sits restrained, cutting through excuses with, "Why anyone would continue to play that sadistic game unless there's some kind of pervert." Leader-like man thinks, "These two really aren't taking this seriously, but they're able to understand one another, They can't look down on that leader like man, leader like man. Leader like man orders, we eliminate threats, and commands the two to follow Kedrick without question. Woman orders to help him so the plan doesn't go astray this time, while man remains silent, calling the old man worrisome. The old someone slips inside the house, urgency pushing them forward as the someone's warning echoes in their mind. Kicking is blocked just in time as punches fly back and forth in a relentless exchange. The woman checks in, asking you okay, as a hand gives a quick thumbs up in response. The boy holds out the tablet, urging Nuna to take a look at this, while she adjusts her head towel, focusing on the screen. The boy points at the tablet, saying, I've been watching this guys for a while now, and something doesn't seem right, as they both fixate on the screen. Nuna questions, isn't he just an aggro like other guys? While Nuna counters, he could be, but something feels different about him. Boy and Nuna watch the video reveal the Someone Face Trees Temple, where the third-floor boss tests challengers with 3 questions, promising a powerful item as a reward. Boy cuts in with a warning, but the real problem is, before revealing the next obstacle they must face. Man sizes up the third-floor boss, calling out, his questions are ridiculously difficult, while the others joke about a secret entrance and cosplay. The stone face rumbles, it's been a long time since a human came to find me, breaking the silence of the courtyard. Man stands firm, challenging, did you also kind of answer my questions? That's right. The old someone challenges fine. If you can answer all 3 of my questions, then I will give you 1 type of my maple leaves. Bare feet step onto the stone ledge as the warning cuts through. However, if you answer just one of my questions incorrectly, trees Gurdians and Gurdians close in, their claws and muscles ready to strike as the third-floor boss is warned, you will be punished. A massive sea creature descends toward the rocky seabed, illuminating the area as the question echoes. What is the optimal depth and temperature for the seawater species Kelgorn to inhabit? The boy blasts the question's absurd difficulty, yelling, who the hell would know something like that? While the man holds the phone, silently watching the chaos unfold. Jinhyuk's answer is depth of 175 m and temperature of 1.5 C, shifting the conversation's focus completely. The large creature with eye challenges the man with next question, but he cuts in, confident. I know it's the right answer, so ask me the next question. The third-floor boss, sweating, warns, fine. This next question won't be as easy. The boy explains the complicated cooking method for the Filiani's body, leaving the woman confused and silent on the couch. Floor boss nervously asks the giant stone face, teach the final question. The giant eagles of the sky plateau mate only once a year. Jinhyuk slams the red button and demands, answer. When the first snow falls in the tower. Floor boss laughter and admits, you're the first human who is able to answer all of my questions, as the third-floor boss contemplates the unexpected breakthrough. Floor boss offers maple leaves, asking, which do you want among the red, yellow, or green leaves? Boy breaks down the leaves' powers. Red ignites fire, yellow boosts defense, and green sharpens speed. That's what I heard at least. Nuna confidently claims the raider will pick movement speed for the third-floor boss. That's what I'd pick. Jinhyuk, the large creature with eye, demanding, put away those ordinary leaves. There's something else I want. Floor boss, shocked that its secret about the black leaves is known. Boy and Nuna sit tense, eyes fixed on the screen as the words the black leaves cut through the silence, confirming the creature's secret is out. Man bargains with the floor boss, offering red leaves in exchange for green ones while the third-floor boss looks on, sweating. Jinhyuk, claiming the third-floor boss-faced tree promised anything for answering all questions, while the third-floor boss accuses him of trying to cheat. Jinhyuk demands the black leaf, warning, you're not trying to dirty the honor of the tree spirit? Floor boss sweats nervously while threatening. I wonder what'll happen if I report you to management. Boss lets out a frustrated sigh, muttering sigh, damn it, as their anger boils over in the forest. The tree spirit honors its promise, granting a massive reward of 1,280 black leaves marked with an AAA difficulty level. Jinhyuk declares the final puzzle piece is ready and signals it's time to leave. The large creature with eye swings its sword just as Jinhyuk counters with his blue energy blade, shouting, "After I deal with you guys first." Person breaking the silence with a grin, asking, "Hey, did you hear?" Guard confirmed the solo clear started early and agreed to wait by the portal until it's done, planning to head home afterward. Guard questions the point of standing watch here, but the other reminds him it's because we were ordered to do it. Just do what you're told to do. One player pushes to stop overthinking and trust the plan, insisting, "Aren't they doing this with some sort of plan in mind?" The guard stands firm by the portal, challenging, "Don't you think so?" as tension rises at the shrine's entrance. Gripping the sword tightly, Guy looks up with a worried frown and asks, "Where did everyone go?" as dark smoke spreads across the floor. Dark purple energy bursts out, claw shadows twisting around them as power surges uncontrollably. Player struggles against restraints, urging to absorb their vitality and keep it saved as time runs out. Demonic man, controlling energy as a cloaked figure declares, "They's already begun." Jinhyuk slashes with his sword, shattering the stone soldier into crumbling pieces. Jinhyuk walking leaves the gate behind, while onlookers debate if he can actually beat the boss. Jinhyuk cuts through the noise with a sharp, "I don't care whether you trust me or not, but I'd appreciate it if you could stop the babbling." Jinhyuk eyes flash as he commands, "I did say it to you guys. Watch if you want to watch." One viewer explains how streamers commonly display all sorts of charms to boost their views. Person tapping shoulder scrolls through the phone, muttering, "But if they push the concept of not giving a shit from the start. The hell, you fucker." Jinhyuk walking confidently through the gate, ignoring the stares and whispers, proving he truly doesn't give a damn about his viewers' opinions. Jinhyuk activates his eye, immediately sensing an unseen presence and muttering, "There's man in white coat else here?" Man presses the button, cutting off the stream despite protests about their skyrocketing viewers. Soldiers charge forward with polearms and swords raised, breaking through the fortress defenses in a fierce assault. Magician unleash purple magical circles, turning the tide inside the fortress. Stone soldier and skeleton soldier charge up the raised platform, weapons ready to crush anyone in their path. Stone soldiers tighten their formation, gripping polearms as their red eyes scan for the next threat. The skeleton soldier lunges with a dagger, but the armored figure with sword blocks the attack with a shield, holding the line. The stone soldier slams his polearm into the skeleton soldier, forcing him back as the others tighten their defense. The person in white cloak sits alone on the cliff edge as the wind whips leaves and cloth around them. Jinhyuk crouches on the rock, mocking the fight below with demonic human bastards. They're fighting neck and neck. Or not. The armored figure with sword clashes fiercely against the stone soldier, causing a massive energy explosion that leaves everyone questioning. Are they slightly stronger? The magician and the other hooded figure unleash synchronized purple magic, pushing the fight just enough to claim, "The battle is slightly tilting in our favor." One guy charges forward with fierce force, but suddenly falters mid-attack, choking out, "Let's ride this momentum to destroy the KUGH." Two hooded figures scramble as shards rain down, one shouting, "Long-range attacks from the enemy. Raise the shields." Magician channels a powerful shield, shouting, "Where are they coming from?" as the attacks intensify. Jinhyuk points decisively as armored figures lock eyes with him. A voice yells, "Over there!" It's a man wearing a mask. Magician unleashes a powerful spell as skeleton soldiers fire a volley of arrows, their commander shouting, "He's only one man. Get rid of him." Skeleton soldiers leap forward, spear thrown down to break the defense line and crush anything in their path. Stone soldier blocks the lunging strike from the Jinhyuk, holding the line tight despite the relentless assault. Jin Hyuk activates Blessing of the Star, unleashing a powerful magic that shifts the battle's momentum instantly. Stone Soldier and his massive comrades grip their swords tighter, rallying the smaller skeleton soldiers with a fierce battle cry. Armed figures close in as the skeleton soldier crouches, struggling under the uncontrollable divine power. The armored figure with sword fights to reclaim control from the divine force, consuming the armored figure with sword. The stone soldier swings the large drill weapon, sending smaller figures flying as the man, shouting in cloak, screams, "HHHH." Person shouting alerts the others as the explosion obliterates the third position, forcing them to rethink their defense immediately. Demonic man snaps, "I can see that without you telling me, you dumbass," cutting off any excuses as tension spikes. Our boy reveals the 4 command points for the undead monsters, warning that the third one has already been destroyed. Chains snap as the clock symbol shatters, triggering the collapse of the entire undead network once the first command point is destroyed. A strike from the purple sword ignites a fiery explosion as a voice shouts, "Over here!" The flaming skull face lashes out, mocking, "How could you possibly catch me with those slow ASS movements of yours?" The stone soldier raises its fist to strike as the armored figure with sword charges forward, shouting, "Battle MOAI." The armored figure slams their sword into someone's fist, shattering it and forcing the giant back. Jin Hyuk other shoulders, drawing their focus as tension spikes between the trio. The middle figure shifts their grip, forcing the others to lock eyes in a sudden, tense standoff. The stone figure crashes into the ground, sending shockwaves that throw everyone off balance. The man shouting in cloak warns, "The first position has also been destroyed," while his companion snaps back, "I said I know, you dumbass." As panic over their dwindling defenses sets in, the old man shouts, "What sort of grudge do you have against USTO? Keep ruining our plans every single time," as frustration boils over their collapsing strategy. The magician shouts a warning as he casts a powerful spell, activating Guardian of the Pyramid, while another voice urges, "If you use that here, you won't have enough mana to face the boss monster dash." But the magician cuts them off with a sharp "Shut up." Old man shouting yells, "I'll use my full power to kill you," and prepares to unleash his attack. Old casts a powerful spell, shouting "Awaken, Guardians," as the stone soldiers rise from the ground, ready to fight. And Guy crouches, clutching his staff, and admits, "It seems I've pushed myself a bit too much," while checking if the other is all right. Older man grabs the hooded man's shoulder, forcing them closer as the hooded one gasps, "See Cedric Nim?" Old man, unleashing a sudden burst of purple energy that catches everyone off man in dark hood with sweat. The hooded man in dark cloak reels from the purple energy strike as the older man orders, "Stay still. You'll only prolong your pain." Jin Hyuk clenches his fist in frustration, realizing, damn, he's even absorbing his allies. Purple energy pulses from the figure on the ground as they declare, "Good. I finally feel better," signaling a dangerous recovery. Old man locks his intense eyes on the target, making a sharp hand gesture as he declares, "I've made you wait." Oldie clutches his head as stone soldiers stand ready behind him, declaring, "Then, shall we get back to it?"